The Indian Statutory Commission was a group of 7 British members of Parliament that had been dispatched to India in 1927 to study the constitutional reforms. Now, by 1927, in fact, by Montagu-Chelmsford reform in 1919, the government had already brought a lot of reforms. And now it was time for Britishers to bring and study more constitutional reforms. So the objective of this commission was to study and bring more reforms in the Indian political system. Now the commission was named Simon Commission because of the following reason. The name of the chairperson of the commission was Sir John Simon. The Government of India, Act 1919, had introduced the system of diarchy to govern the provinces of British India. Now you must be knowing what is diarchy. I hope you remember in the last lecture what I had explained, the meaning of diarchy, that is two forms of government, one at the provincial level and the other at the central level. Now the Indian public demanded for revision of the difficult diarchy form of government. Moreover, the Government of India Act 1919 itself stated that a commission would be appointed after 10 years to investigate the progress of the governance scheme and suggest new steps. In 1920, the Conservative government, which was in power in Britain, feared the imminent electoral defeat at the hands of Labour Party. They also feared the effect of the consequent transfer of power or the control of India to such an inexperienced body. Hence, in November 1927, before the due date, Prime Minister Stanley Baldwin appointed 7 MPs, including the chairman Simon, to go and constitute the commission and study about the political reforms. The Simon Commission of 1919 was entrusted with the charge to look into the state of Indian constitutional affairs. They wanted to study how India is progressing in terms of constitutional development. The growth of education and development of representative institution in British India were the significant responsibility vested with the Simon Commission. So they wanted to study whether the people are happy with the reforms which the Britishers have brought in India. They wanted to study how successful is the model of diarchy in India, based on which they would want to bring some more reforms. Well, the Simon Commission was to give a report as to whether or what extent the principle of responsible government could be established in India. The Simon Commission was also asked to inquire the fact that how far it was desirable to establish second chambers of local legislature. Now, during the inquiry, the Simon Commission did not, however, take into account the relationship of British government with Indian states and found British government extremely constitutional, which was not true at all. And this was the reason of dissent, why all Indians were extremely dissatisfied through. This was also because no Indian members were included in the commission. How can you talk and know about the welfare of the people if you have no one to consult, if you don't give the representation? So this commission was in a way a fraud commission. It was nothing to do with the welfare of the people, and they didn't bring anything positive on the table. The Simon Commission was an all-white composition. Lord Birkenhead justified the exclusion of Indian members from the Simon Commission. He believed that since the commission was composed of Parliament, it was necessary that the members of commission should be from the Parliament. Even if the members of the commission were from the Parliament, why were the people who were elected at the provincial level were not consulted? Why were their demands, why were their views not expressed and heard? The Simon Commission created enough dissatisfaction all over the country, and everywhere it was hailed with black flags. Wherever they went, they were shown black flags. The general hartal were observed throughout the country on the day of commission landed in India. In such circumstances, the Central Assembly was invited to form a joint committee to cooperate with the commission but it refused to do so. As a whole, Simon Commission in India was complete failure, and this was a big disaster.